Yo, y'all tuned in there? Y'all woke?
Yes, sir. We are back.
Crips and Blood to New York. And today we talking Alpo coming home. For y'all out there who don't know who Alpo is, watch the Paid in Full movie. Better yet, watch the blog, because we going to dip into it.
Bugaloo, a.k.a. Gansta Lou, talks about the whole situation, plus Queenz Flip. What we out here doing, Queenz Flip, your name is coming up a lot now. Queenz Flip. Why are you throwing up blood on your podcast, Queenz Flip? But everybody think he's extorting Killa Kev. Is that really true, or is he helping him out? Some things we're going to talk about, man. It's your boy Harlem Smiley. You are tuned into the one and only Dirt Gang TV. Y'all ready in there? Y'all ready in there? Don't be home on your couch taking a nap. You cannot get money if you in there sleeping. Y'all ready? Let's go, man. We rolling.
Yikes. Side block. No. It's curvy low.
You are now tuned into Boskoe100 Beats.
Y'all niggas already know what it is, man. Shout out from all the 30s, man. All the way from 35th and Edgecombe all the way to Crenshaw, man. Y'all already know what it is. 30 Brooklyn Crip from my Harlem set. Show some respect. If not, cuz, put it in check. I'm up next. This is your boy Harlem Smiley. You are tuned into the one and only Dirt Gang TV. And yes, sir, this is Crips and Bloods in New York, but we're not talking about no specific states, no specific sets. We're gonna talk about what's been happening inside of the Blood and Crip world on this online stuff. I don't get what's happening here. So we start about saying Queenz Flip. I do like what you're doing. I like the podcast. I started watching as a fan, none other. Definitely expressed in the past how I feel like a lot of things, not that, you necessarily do on your platform, but a lot of things that happens on your platform shouldn't be happening. For instance, right? It's a lot of questions that you ask. And we talking about not just specifically with like the Blood double OGs and the Blood triple OGs, because I respect what you're doing, because a lot of people out there who don't live in New York get the whole thing misconstrued sometimes. The fact that it's a lot of people outside of New York that think, oh, OG Mac got all his codes from, right from the Monster Cody book, so that way everybody's fake. And if you're not, from LA, you're not a real Crip and you're not a real Blood. To where, stuff like this, platforms like this show people that that's not true. Because these people who don't specifically travel to New York don't really know the game as far as how it ended up out there. They just thinking, this new internet wave, everybody online gangbanging and people calling in talking about, hitting people in DMs and, yo, can I come home and under you and, can you lope me in? And that, like, it's crazy, this internet stuff. And it'd be like, it's like, really? You really think real G's is going to put you on without even knowing who you are? This internet stuff is crazy. So it's like, you have to watch, A, the questions you ask, and B, the stuff that you're letting people talk about on your platform. Niggas ask me all the time, Smiley, why you don't do interviews? Me personally, I don't like doing interviews because you never know what's going to come out that person's mouth. I know what's going to come out of my mouth. If it's something wrong, I can always edit it, take something down. You can't really determine all of the alternatives that's going to come out that person's mouth, their perspectives. And it could be something that could be detrimental to your whole channel or your whole platform. So with that being said, it's like Queenz Flip did interviews with, Killa Kev. That's the main one who I'm only going to talk about too, because a lot of people felt like he was kind of extorting Killa Kev because they have a podcast that they do together right now on the line. Shout out to On the Line. And they feel like he's kind of extorting them a little bit. But is that really the case? The first time he came on your platform, I felt like you was playing a lot with the OGs. A lot of questions you was asking. I feel like you was kind of making fun of them a lot. People checked you on it. Not saying anybody harmed you, but that, they said something about it, whatever. The next one you did, totally switched up. Then you had the one on there where you had one with Stack Stone.
You had one on there when you had Killa Kev on there. And I forgot the other double OG name that was on there. But you had all three of them on there and they got heated towards the end. You took a lot of slack for that one. After those, I felt like what you've been doing, you've been taking it seriously, but I just realized like that's just your character. You just a funny person. You one of them people, every time you laugh, you like slapping people on their shoulder. Ha ha ha. That's just your personality. You just, you know, you like the class clown. You like the funny person. You know, so it wasn't, so once I started watching you a little bit more, I realized that you wasn't really making fun of them. That's just your personality. Like, you know, I don't know what it is. It's like you just, you don't get it. It's almost like you was trying to play them, make them seem like they were smaller, like you just outsmarting them. But from watching this new podcast say On the Line, that is not the case. I watched that. That shit is funny as a mutt. Yo, that is super funny. Shout out to Queen's Flip. Shout out to Killa Kev. Because once I watched that, I realized y'all got a good rapport with each other. Yo, y'all had me in here dying. I first started watching to see if you was going to make fun of him again. Because I feel like, you know, he's a little bit older. He's been away for a while. So, you know, he don't really know the technology. You know, he's messing with the mic stand, the mic kind of fat. You know, listen, you know the older cats, man. They really don't listen. I'm like right there. You know, I'm not far from them. But the era I grew up in, you know, I was able to mess around with technology. And when you do a whole bunch of years in jail, you do decades in jail, it's certain stuff you miss and certain technology you just ain't gonna be up on. So in that instance, that's why I feel like, you know, he was lacking that. But that podcast is funny as a mother. Some motherfucker call up there talking about the Big Mac sauce, his girl. Yo, it was crazy. Yo, go check out that podcast. Queen's Flip, Killa Kev, On the Line. That shit was super funny. So with that being said, I don't feel like Queen's Flip is taking advantage of Killa Kev, because that's been a talked about subject for the last couple of days after this first one come out. But I'm here to tell you that it's super funny. Keep doing what y'all doing. He said he was splitting all the donations right down the line with him. Pretty sure he hitting some bread with him. So it's like Killa Kev got his own channel. So with Queen's Flip, he can show him how to bring that channel up to the top instead of it being like a regular channel, because he got the followers. He just need the guidance to bring it to the top. He ain't been around that long. He just coming home not too long ago. So with that being said, stop saying Queen's Flip is using Killa Kev. It's not. If anything, he's helping him more than harming him. It is what it is, man. That's it, man. Y'all gotta respect. Y'all listen. Y'all gotta respect what that man out here doing for the most part with that man, because he could have not be doing anything. Let's be for real. He really don't. It was super funny. It was worth them doing. I want to see another one. So if that's y'all needed to hear, I need to see another one. We're about to be bashing Queen's Flip all day on here now. I'm be honest with you. I really don't like the way you move in a lot of instances sometimes with stuff you do. But you have changed up a little bit too. Another interview we're going to talk about is the Boskoe100 interview. Boskoe100. Yo, listen. That's a funny motherfucker. I don't care what you say. That's a funny motherfucker. Bosco, he was on there. So they was asking him just like, it wasn't a whole bunch of like controversy on there. They was asking him what chicks would he mess with. You know, he's very high on Star Brim. They was asking him about, they asked him about New York Bloods. And one thing about Bosco that I respect, he's one of the people, he have traveled to New York, and he said one thing he gets, that it's, you know, it's a difference between LA and New York with the culture, with the people, with the gangs. Everything not gonna run out there the same as you would think in LA. It's not gonna run the same in different places. Close San Diego, Texas, Florida, New York, Jersey, it's not gonna run the same in those states. It could be somewhere right as, you know, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes away, an hour away. It just won't run the same. But he do understand how deep it is, how big it is, how now it's been in New York so long that the originators do call themselves triple OGs. Then you have double OGs, then you got OGs, you got it's about 60% of the sets that's in New York come from LA. On the blood side of town. About 60%. So he understood that. He like, man, what's going on out here? Same thing, rest in peace of Nipsey. When he came to New York, like, you know, I think it was like 10 years ago or something like that. He almost got into it with a couple of the lokes out there. But then when he came back to Brooklyn video and all that, it was all love. Super love. Super love. But Nipsey understood, like, yo, it's 6 O's out here. I can't believe it. Like, they deep out here. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like, it's people now that's going to these other states and realizing that, you know, there's Crips and Bloods everywhere. So, you know, with that being said, Boskoe100, that was a great interview. If y'all never seen that one from Queen's Flip, go back and watch that one. Everybody always talk about the bad that people do. Everybody always talk about the controversy. You know, nobody ever talks about the good of what somebody's doing out here as far as like getting somebody's name out there. He could, don't get me wrong, he comes off as, I understand, as if like he's trying to make fun of people, he's funny, man, but I just started realizing like that's his personality. But the Bosco, yo, he's a funny, yo, that guy Bosco is funny as a, he's crazy. You eat ass? Yo, of course I eat ass. It's right there next to each other, man. You got the pussy, you got the ass, they right there next door neighbors to each other. Start brim, oh, she'll get it, stop it. Like, that's how he talk. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he fast, slick talking with it. You know, got slick answers to it. Shout out to his man that was next door. It was a good interview. It was a very good interview. Very entertaining interview. You kept me entertained, Bosco. Those out there who haven't seen the Paid in Full movie. The Paid in Full movie. I'll give y'all a couple of niggas down in D.C., but I ain't giving up nobody from Harlem, because when I come home, I'm still going to be the king. Y'all seen the movie. I'm not going to get too far into the details of the movie. Go back and see Paid in Full, the movie. If not, then you ain't even going to like this whole part. You ain't even going to know what I'm talking about. Spark my spliff to this one. Bloggers. People from Harlem. New York City. Alpo has been home. And yes, is home. So I say this one time because he is running down on bloggers. Watch when you speak on this man's name. And if you do speak on this man's name, prepare that he might run down on you. It's people like Gansta Lou, a.k.a. Bugaloo. They don't care. So if you mention Alpo, just be prepared. Can run down on you. So a lot of people outside of New York, outside of Harlem, think that Paid in Full story is just a story. No, it's not. Illest movies I ever seen, based off a true story. Boys in the Hood, New Jersey Drive, Paid in Full. Those are the 3 realest movies I ever seen that was based off a true story. Now, I'm from Brooklyn, but back in the day, long time ago, started going to school in Manhattan in 9th grade. If you from Brooklyn, you don't, you know, Manhattan is not the closest borough. Queens is the closest borough. So, you know, you go back and forth. Same thing if you live in Manhattan, you go back and forth to the Bronx a lot. That's the closest borough. Staten Island, y'all just jump on the ferry and go where y'all want to go. It is what it is. So, going around, you know, living in Brooklyn, growing up in Brooklyn, most of your family living in Brooklyn. Like, sometimes people move from Brooklyn and move to Harlem and think it's better living, but it's just like, you know, there is no better living really in New York City. Unless you go to Long Island upstate. It is what it is. I started going to school in Manhattan. Lower Manhattan. And Harlem, a couple of my boys lived in Harlem. My man Mark used to live on Lenox in 110th. So, if you familiar with over there, people might most notably, Jim Jones shot a video out of there, early video, and Forster Projects. Forster Project is right on the other side of Central Park Forster Projects is the nearest projects right there. 2 and a 3 line. You know, that's the only stop that you getting off past 96th Street. So if you miss 96th Street, you got a long way to go to 110th Street. So when you go out there, that's when you learn all the Harlem, you know, culture. Everything's going on. So I didn't know anything about this whole little, you know, I didn't know no story behind it. So when I found out the whole story behind it and then the video came out, good to go. All right, nice. I know what they talking about now out there in the street. Lou is somebody that was actually he didn't have a big role in the Paid in Full. So if you know when they put the chain over it, that was the only, he should have had a way bigger role. Now you can deliberately tell he sounds just like, if he went in there and Money Mitch took this man's voice, sounds just like it. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it when he was talking. Sound just like he was in the Paid in Full movie. So Gansta Lou goes on Queen's Flip and talks about the whole Alpo situation. Now, if y'all not familiar, we're going to talk about allegedly. Y'all know who Rich Porter is. If y'all don't, go look up Rich Porter. Look up Rich Porter. Look up Alpo. Look up Bugaloo. And then watch the Paid in Full movie. And it'll all come together. We're not breaking down the whole movie right now. It is what it is. Most of y'all out there done seen it already. So, Gansta Lou took Alpo to see Rich Porter. It is what it is. Allegedly, Alpo killed Rich Porter. It is what it is. Allegedly. We're going to say allegedly. It is what it is. Is it out there already? It is what it is. Gansta Lou said the movie only got it's only halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway accurate. So that's why Gansta Lou said he wants to do a part 2 to tell the full and real story of the Paid in Full. He just wants somebody to come cut him that check. The only problem is, it's like, would you put the real Alpo in the movie? Can y'all get beyond it? Because let's be for real, they don't like each other. If you go, I haven't heard from Alpo. He hasn't done no interviews. He's just running down on bloggers, You mentioned this, they run it down. Listen, it is what it is. See what I'm saying? So, you know, some people call him a king. Some people call him a snitch. Me personally, listen, it's certain rules to the game. If me as a gang member, right, we not even supposed to tell on our opposition. So it holds different rules. But in the streets, it's like, you know, is by him not telling on nobody from Harlem, that makes him a Harlem legend. But by him telling on people from DC, that made him kind of, you know, a snitch in people's eyes. So it was like, you know, if you in Harlem, you love him. If you outside of Harlem, you hate him. On the situation, I look at it from both sides of the fence. If it was his peoples or whatever like that, close people who he grew up with, knew it, he ain't give them up. Nah, but he knew he was in a position where he had to give somebody up. You got to look at it from one of two ways. He saved his people and gave up people who he didn't know. But in the eyes of G's, he snitched. But that wasn't, you know, Gansta Lou, that wasn't his whole issue. His whole issue was the Rich Porter issue. Rich Porter. To be said, Rich Porter right now would probably still be out there getting this bread if that would have never happened. So Gansta Lou kind of blamed himself, because if he would have never took him to see Rich Porter, none of this would have never happened. So that's why I'm very interested. I want to see a part 2. Somebody call Gansta Lou, talk to Gansta Lou. Get this Paid in Full part 2 flowing. I want to see it. He said another thing, how they all sitting around counting each other money, eating Chinese food, shooting. That was false. He said every boss, everybody was of all three of them, everybody was their own boss. Everybody had their own bread. There was never no sitting around counting money, maybe eating Chinese food, discussing some things. But every boss had their own money. So that part was, that's why I want them to do a part 2. Not knocking the part 1, but just a extension from a different perspective, a different point of view. Because it sounded like he got a lot of hidden details. Flip was asking a lot of questions he wouldn't answer. Nah, I can't give you the answer to that. That's going to be in part 2. Somebody got to pick this up. This will make millions. Y'all not understanding. This will make millions. So, bloggers, y'all better watch it when y'all out there talking about Alpo, man. Run down on y'all, man. Y'all better be anticipating it. Know what I'm saying? So, from my perspective, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to look at it because I'm not from Harlem. I'm from the set, but I'm not from the place, Harlem, New York. I used to just spend time out there. Between 110th and Lenox, all the way through 135th. We used to be down there all through that way down there too. When we was going to the Bronx, we was going a little further, but we was down there for the most part. But that was only for a couple of years, you know, of my life. We not talking about during the crack era. We talking about maybe like 5-6 years after, you know, there was still a bunch of crack running around there. But when I think of the crack era, I'm thinking from maybe like 88, 89, 94, 95, you know, somewhere around there. But, you know, I mean, that was crazy. It is what it is. So somebody picked that up, man. Gansta Lou tells the story, man. Y'all go. But that was another good interview from Queenz Flip. I like that one too. But it's like, you know, he's not really, don't blame Queenz Flip. It's not Queenz Flip really making these people say this. Oh, if you don't say this, you're not getting paid. So if he asks a question as a media outlet, because that's what he's there to do, that's what he gets paid to do, it's not really him if he's asking a question and answering the question. Or if he's just sitting there and they just talking and they just spitting stuff out. So my advice to the people that's going on these platforms, watch what y'all saying. Because it's like y'all giving up information that he's not even asking about. That's why I don't do interviews. I feel like people give out information that you can't control. I know what's going to come out of my mouth. That's why you will hear the ums and the, you know, the you-knows. You got to watch what come out of your mouth. You got to make sure your brain may be thinking one thing, but you be like, nah, I can't say that. So I got to come up with a quick rebuttal. So with that being said, a lot of y'all out there going on these platforms, just watch what you're saying. If you don't want it to come out like that, then don't say it. If he asks a question that you don't like, you can't ask me that question. I see Killa Kev tell him that all the time. You can't ask me that question. You can't ask me that question. And Flip, why you keep throwing up blood? Are you blood? I don't think so. I don't think you in a gang. If you are, it's very weird. Nobody acknowledge it, but stop throwing it like that's what's going to get you in trouble. Stop doing that, man. You keep doing that, man, you crazy. I really don't like getting too deep and talking specifically too deep about they specific things, but somebody got to do something about this guy, Snow Billy. Yo. Queenz Flip, this is the one I don't like. We going negative on this one. We going fully negative on this one. This guy got the Chris Brown hairstyle. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is, man. I mean, you just got a beautiful soul. Like, yo, first off, I think it's corny to even tell a female she got a beautiful soul. But for you to tell another man you got a beautiful soul? A beautiful soul? Come on, son. Yo, what is wrong with this guy? Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I done seen the back and forth between him and every other. Like, it's crazy. He only get, like, nobody acknowledging him as far as him not being a real blood. It's just the fact that the moves he make. The moves he make is crazy. And then this whole snitching ordeal back and forth with him and CEO Chrissy on there. Oh, I'm about to take 10 years. This is the problem. Don't get drunk and then go on Queenz Flip thinking you gonna say certain stuff and he gonna edit it out because it ain't gonna happen. My main thing, my whole problem with the situation, right? With that whole interview, Flip, was he said he was going to jail for 10 years, right? And they got the old bleached Cisco hair and all that. Say he was going to jail for 10 years, right? Said he didn't, so it was an offer on the table for him to snitch on somebody. So if y'all don't know the whole 6ix9ine situation with CEO Chris, we not getting super deep into it. Go back to my old blog. We talking about 6ix9ine. We talking about CEO Chris. I explained more about it before. We not doing the whole explaining thing. But CEO Chris, undercover FBI agent the whole time, bringing niggas down. It is what it is. Is a deal on the table for him to snitch. So now he thinking in his head like, I don't even rock with this dude. I don't know this dude. I could snitch on him, get less years, because I don't know this guy. I'm thinking about just doing that. Here's the problem. Gang member. As a gang member, it's a lot of occasions that doesn't apply to somebody who's neutral that can be considered snitching. If somebody shoots you, stab you up, they catch that person, you don't know that person, random person. In my book, that's not really snitching. That's one ordeal that I feel like that's not really snitching. A random gangbanger, a blood, Crip, stab a person up on the street. You witness it. And you give a statement and you pick this guy up in the lineup, that's snitching. If you go and you snitch on this man, when somebody's a gang member, you go and you snitch on this man to take less years, it's going to be considered snitching. It's going to be considered snitching. I didn't make the rules up. It's only certain, somebody run down. They shoot your mother. They shoot your girl. You go point, you can't call and tell that man he's snitching. You just took one of my goddamn family members. I don't care who you are. It's just only certain instances to where it's not super labeled snitching. Snow Billy. Snow Billy. You about to take 10 years, why the you bleach your hair, stupid? I know you did bids in the past, but you older. When I was younger, 16 to 25, I felt like I could knock anything out walking. Now it's like, all right, if it's somebody over 30, I'm not out here trying to fight these 21 to 22, 23-year-olds. I'm trying to fight people mid-30s, early 40s. If that, you know, why you cut me off in line? You cut me, you know, you almost hit me at the light. You know, why you pulling my parking spot? Shit like that. I'm not out here running around trying to fight with these old, where you from? What ship you sell? What? The OG? Nah. Y'all know my routine, man. Y'all know my philosophy, man. If you are over 30 years old and you call yourself out here super active, going to the set every day, chilling with the niggas every day, you are a bum. You ain't getting money, helping these people get money. You just chilling around in the set, drinking beers and all that. You are a bum. If you are in the mid-30s and 40 years old, you are even worse. You can't be doing that at that age. That stuff you do between the age of 12, 13 years old up until you 21 years old. For the late bloomers, I give y'all the 25, 30. But after 30 years old, if you ain't going to grab your little homies to do a music video, go get a job, you know, oh, I'm a rapper now, I need some security. Not really saying I need security, but, you know, instead of me going to get security detail, I can, you know, and in some instances that works, some instances don't. Because, you know, you can try to help out all you want to and then shit go left. But other than that, it's only certain instances the way it wouldn't be labeled snitching. Somebody, Snow Billy, what you doing out here, Snow Billy? You out here making people look crazy. Now I gotta make blogs to justify that everybody can't look at you and look at 6ix9ine and thinking this is what Bloods is representing in New York City. I'm a Crip and I'm standing up for the Bloods out there because this is not what it represents out there. I got real cousins, real gangsters that do this out there for real. And they do not flow like this. Snow Billy, why you bleach your hair, stupid? You about to do 10 years you bleach your hair? What? You fucking, yo, listen. I'm just a Brooklyn Crip from a Harlem set. Show some respect. If not, cuz, put it in check. I'm up next. This is your boy, Harlem Smiley. You are tuned into the one and only Dirt Gang TV. And if you're new to the channel, man, You can subscribe. You can comment. You can rate it at the bottom. If you've been here before, you like the content, man, you know what it is, man. Just hit the thumb. Turn it from white to blue. And if not one, put up two, man. Harlem shit, Dirt Gang.